Hey everyone, we are back for another exciting rehearsal this week, and it is all about college band this week. We will find out what made Steven say,
Oh, thank goodness the show has an editor. We might be able to deal with that one in post.
and why Cynthia said,
on the channel Fox 43, there's a segment called Tyler Tries. And guess what Tyler tried? He went to the York Suburban High School and tried marching band.
all this and more. So get out on the field and we will see you back on the sidelines for this week's episode of On a Water Break.
Let's go. Set it up.
Top of the show.
Form, check form. Cover down.
Do it again.
Run it back. And we'll see you at the show.
Welcome to another episode of On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Jackie Brown. This week we are diving into the world of college band with a guest host who may just be the first marching band student with an endorsement deal and an interview with a female legend in the collegiate marching band world, University of Delaware band director Heidi Sarver. Let's see who's on the sidelines this week. Cynthia!
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. I feel like I haven't talked to you in ages. How are things up north?
Well, up north, it's kind of our down season. It's kind of the resting time for us. And I know I look at all you guys and you're like, marching band! But for us, there's none. So we're just waiting and getting excited for Winter Guard. And I'm happy to hear more about marching bands. And it's not my world, so I'm so happy to hear more. But here, it's just a regular mom-parent life, kid getting to school, all that stuff.
Awesome. Well, Steven, how about you?
I'm doing good, Jackie. I'm missing football to be here, so we better make this good.
Oh, so earlier when you hopped on and I said, I feel blessed. Now I feel doubly blessed. Because I didn't know you were going to be here tonight.
It's not an Eagles game.
And you're missing football, man. Hey, Ashlee.
Hi. It's been so long since I've been on. I'm so excited for tonight.
I was going to say, I haven't seen you in forever either. I feel like this is just such a nice conglomeration of everybody.
I'm at band literally 6 out of 7 days a week right now until, November. So it's a lot.
I feel that so much. I'm sure a lot of our listeners feel that way. And also, I think our guest host for the week probably feels that way. So let's get to our guest host. This young man has done something I know I have never heard of this before. I've never heard of a band kid having this happen. He went out there and he got himself an endorsement deal. We'll let you tell him all about it, though. Please welcome Will Hazeltine.
Howdy ho! I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for coming on the show, man. We're excited to get to know you and introduce you to the folks that listen to us every week. So, good way to get that going. We always start off our interviews with something we call our life story in 32 counts. Gives you about 30 seconds to catch all of our listeners up to speed. Tell them who you are and what you're about. Sound good?
Sure thing, yeah. And start right away, I suppose.
Go. You'll get 8 and in off the Met.
Perfect. Well, yeah, I'm Will Hazeltine. I got a nickname, Riff. That's what people in the University of Wisconsin marching band call me. I'm from a small farming town, Edgerton, Wisconsin. Decided to go to UW-Madison to pursue geological engineering, kind of a unique major. So a lot of rocks. It's a really fun major. And of course, I decided to audition for the marching band my first year. Played French horn in high school and mellophone then, of course. So I play mellophone now, and I'm in rank 7 in the UW-Madison marching band.
Nice. Yeah, no, I love rocks. I actually studied at Penn State School of Earth and Mineral Sciences for my degree. So I was not a geology major, but I had to take a good bit, actually. I wish this podcast was about rocks. But unfortunately, we're going to have to talk to you about your endorsement deal. So.
Well, no worries. Hey, at UW-Madison Marching Band, we say eat a rock. That's our thing. So, Close.
Gosh.
So catch our listeners up to speed. Tell us what this endorsement's all about.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a crazy story. It started with Kwik Trip. It's a Midwest gas station, and so much more. I mean, they have groceries, they have gas, they have late night snacks, everything you can need for a college kid, especially.
Yeah.
And for a long time, because of some promotion I signed up for, I had free coffee for a year, and that was
Whoa.
awesome.
Ooh.
But then that promotion ended, so I lost my free coffee privilege. So then, seeking some way to continue to get coffee, I emailed Kwik Trip and I said, "Hey, it's a long shot, I know, but how do I get free coffee still?" And then I pitched the idea. I'm in the marching band at UW Madison. That's a big platform. It's like potentially there could be some sort of partnership here, maybe some sort of NIL deal. I know that's such new crazy thing in the world of
Right.
college athletics, let alone not college athletics. And then it took a few months of waiting. But then they got back to me and they said, "Hey, we'd actually love to do this. We think you'd be a great candidate for it. You kind of embody the atmosphere that Kwik Trip wants to put out there as a Midwest person." I was like, "Great. I mean, I totally am." So then after some hoops to jump through over the summer, we thought, oh, the football season's starting up. That's when college marching band season, of course, starts up. What a perfect time to kickstart the whole thing and start making some content with Kwik Trip.
That's actually so cool. That's so clever to just take the NIL deals that all the athletes have been getting in the football teams and think, I'm an athlete too. I can probably get some free coffee out of this.
Get some
That's-
free coffee. Exactly.
It's like one of the most college student ideas I've ever heard of, actually.
So do you still get free coffee? Is my question.
Not entirely. So there's an agreement that I have with Kwik Trip, and in that I get coffee more or less.
Nice.
Whether or not though, I mean, with this deal, I'd be going to Kwik Trip 5 days out of the week still to get a coffee and donut.
Don't tell them that. They don't need to know that.
Yeah.
No, it's the opposite. He needs to sell that to be commercially like.
Of course, he would
There
go
we
to
go,
Kwik
there we
Trip
go.
every day, and
Of
so would
course,
I.
I still pay my coffee at Kwik Trip every. But so what? So should we not we? But we see you in commercials on their social media on.
So
what does that imply for you?
various sources. Myself, I'll be creating content on behalf of Kwik Trip on my own social media platforms, and that's just my first name, last name. I think for TikTok and Instagram, those are the main two platforms. Just William Hazeltine, all one word. Kwik Trip as well had been sharing content, sharing about the promotion. So I'll be on the Kwik Trip social media. And then also in the state of Wisconsin, at least, it kind of erupted for a good week and a half, and it still is. Various news stations have reached out to me, reached out to Kwik Trip, wanted to do a piece about it. So I've been in the news already twice with 2 different news stations, a third news station coming up next week, I believe.
Nice.
Just to, again, talk about it, promote how crazy of a partnership this is.
Yeah, so you're becoming a marching band influencer, social media. Like it's gonna be a new trend.
Well, I'm very excited that I'm able to do it for the whole marching band community because, when anyone hears the word NIL deal, you instantly think of, all right, the starter quarterback is, getting these big promotional deals. So it's pretty neat, and I'm excited to do it on behalf of marching band members, in Wisconsin, in my own band, or, different bands all across the United States of like, oh, somebody else can do this too. Like, this isn't just for that starter quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
Give some love to the marching bands. Come on.
Well, they did. That's that's pretty cool. You're a trailblazer in something really unique, man.
I'm excited to be in that position. Yeah.
So, Will, what does the band director think that you have this deal going? Like, what's their thoughts?
The thoughts are overall very supportive. It was definitely something new on the director's end as well. Something that they weren't entirely sure of, and it involves a lot of people, more than just Kwik Trip, myself. That is who the deal is between me and Kwik Trip, but it involves the directors, it involves the university on many different levels. Overall, they were supportive of it, and they said, go get them. I mean, try your hand at it, and we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, they knew that there wasn't maybe as much direct input as they could. It wasn't their opportunity to put in a bunch of direct
Right.
input. It was more on the me and Kwik Trip side of things. But in all, they were in support of it, and that was good to hear, knowing that I could pursue that. Yeah, and then on the university end, they're also in support of it, and that's where some of the hoops have been. It's like, all right, what can and can't I
Right.
post? And it's been working with
Right.
the university, and so far, all good things working with the university too. So that's very exciting. Me and Kwik Trip like that news. Makes me excited to make some more content soon.
Right. So that actually, I guess, kind of makes me curious. You're like leading the way essentially for what hopefully a lot of others could do. Do you maybe have some advice for some other college students that could be listening and maybe think this sounds like something I'm interested in? What would you offer to them?
Yeah, definitely. And I want to first put out too. I'm in a unique position because I'm in the marching band, and that's a platform in itself of name, image, and likeness. But in part, the reason I'm partnering with Kwik Trip is just because of who I am as a person and what Kwik Trip saw in that. So
Okay.
it really could be any college student. You could be in any club, any organization, any extracurricular, right? That could be your platform to have some sort of partnership with. And then it's having that initiative to reach out to someone, because it might be harder to find people in those positions rather than, again, the star quarterback is on the TV all the time. But right, just having an initiative to reach out for someone and try to make something out of nothing, right? That's hard to do, but if you can do it, it could be very fulfilling.
Right. It sounds kind of similar to like applying for a scholarship in a way.
That's
Like if
actually
you're
what I was
this
gonna say.
right. Yeah.
Is getting those scholarships whenever you're, especially like when you're trying to get into school or like you're in your first years of college, you know, you're sort of competing against everyone and you don't really know what your competition is. And so just putting yourself out there and putting your best foot forward and hoping that that's what the company's looking for is like the best way to go about it.
And that it's so new. I think there's a lot of companies out there that would be eager to do something similar that I have with Kwik Trip. Not maybe the exact same, but whatever avenue a different company would want to take, I'm sure there's some position out there for a different student somewhere across the world to do that.
Oh yeah. I can only imagine the Wawas, the Cheats. My East Coast boys will be grinding for those endorsement positions soon. What were you saying, Jackie?
I was just gonna say, let's do our gush and boast for the week. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to gush about.
Oh, right. Okay.
Cynthia, you do want to start us off?
Which day? Oh my God. Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but the final, should I say
Please
finally?
do toot your own horn.
Yeah. The Lost in Translation. God, I was already lost in translation. The Lost in Translation bonus episodes started. So the first one is with, I have Jackie Brown in my face, but the director of the Magnolia Project.
I am not the director of the Magnolia Project.
No, I know you're not, but you guys have the same name, but not the same last name. Jackie Price. There we go. Thank you to the person on the sideline. The director of the Magnolia Project, and it's really interesting because they're moving up to open class this year. So she just gave us a little tease about this, and their audition, if I'm not mistaken, is this weekend. So if you're interested, you can reach to her or reach to the Magnolia Project and listen to the podcast. The second one came out, and it's with Gilles Ouellette. And if you want to hear my little accent and some exotic words here and there, it's really fun because he's a Quebec French-speaking person that moved to the U.S. in his late 20s and is now, a lot of people know him. He has been with Spirit of Atlanta, and he's a judge, WGI judge level at GE. And it's really interesting, and there's going to be more content coming up. So, yeah, go see all that extra content, Lost in Translation. And if you want to speak to me, I need to get to know people that are from all around the world, from anyone, a parrot, a member, anyone. It's really, really fun. It's easy. We choose a word, we talk about that word, and that's it. So, yeah.
Yeah, send an email to onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. Honestly, you can also DM me at
Any of
Spintronics
us.
Guard or On a Water Break. Like, seriously, I live on social media. So if you want to message Cynthia and you want to be on that, I will forward that on to her, if nothing else.
Mhm.
Maybe someday we can get a phone line. Yeah, get some voicemails in here one day.
There you go.
If
A
you
That's
listener
take the
calling in.
voicemails
On a
and
water
you
break.
take care of this, let's do it, Steven. I'm all for it. You be our secretary.
Me
Go.
take care of this? This sounds like a Jeremy problem.
Oh.
My gush and go for the week. My gush and go for the week
Gosh.
is
Right under the bus. Right under the bus.
I have we had our biggest video on the Yeah Base page that I kind of help operate. It's really blowing up on us pretty fast. It's at like 425,000 views now.
Wow.
And pretty steadily approaching 500,000. I think it'll get there. I don't know if it'll get a lot past there, but it's just wild. It's like I didn't even know there were like 500,000 people out there that are interested in watching people play bass drum. I didn't know there were 500,000 people out there that even knew that people play bass drum. So that's pretty cool. That's been just keeping me. Anytime I feel down, I just open up Instagram, take a look at it. Something that's interesting, haters actually come out of the woodwork. It's been really positive reception, but it turns out on the big videos, it doesn't matter what it is. They just seep out to just hate. Doesn't matter how good it is. But
and it doesn't matter if they have any experience in what you're doing or
no.
if they're super experienced in what you're doing. Like, you will get haters of all kinds.
Everybody gets hate. I think it definitely shows if you're getting hate, you're doing something right, because people are looking. Let's see. How about Ashlee? What do you want to gush and go on about?
There has been just so much going on within the past few weeks. So I work with the University of Delaware with the Golden Girl Twirlers, and then I also direct the color guard at my local high school, which is Rising Sun. So they both have their first performances on the 16th. So Delaware has their first game, and then Rising Sun has their first competition. The guard uniforms get delivered tomorrow to the school, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, everything's just been so busy. I'm just looking forward to the whole marching band season because I clearly just love to be busy and have no free time. It's that time of year.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. 6 out of 7 days a week is a lot.
Delaware is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Rising Sun is Tuesday, Thursday. And Friday night football games. And then Saturday I'm like in 2 places at once. So it's so much fun.
Superposition of band. It's a whole lot, but good for you. It sounds like you're at least doing stuff that you love doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like that I still get to teach color guard, but I also still get to have my twirling side, which is really where I came from. So it's great that I just and Delaware is just such an amazing place to be. With Heidi, our interviewee that's next. She's just amazing and such a family atmosphere. I know every band says that, but I just feel like it's different here.
Well, Will, now that you kind of see how our gush and goes work, you get to gush and go on about anything you want to talk about. We will even, like, we won't tell Kwik Trip if you talk about something besides Kwik Trip. It can be anything you want.
You can talk about rocks if you want. That can be your moment.
I would love it if you talked about rocks.
No, I kind of will. I wanted to talk about school. School started just yesterday officially. I've been doing band for 3 weeks ahead of time, but first day of school was yesterday. Day 2 was today. Made it to all my classes. So that's,
nice.
Might not happen next week, but it happened this week. It's syllabus week, so I just show up and sit in the class and take it in for a little bit.
Good on you for showing up. Yeah.
Rock classes. I'm in 2 rock classes this semester. One is on the slope stability of rocks. If you have a big hill, what's going to cause the hill to just cause a landslide, more or less.
Cool.
The other one is like a research rock class where I choose a topic and I do research on it and then I present on it. I'm a senior at UW-Madison, so higher level class. Gonna do the Highland Hills of Scotland. There's some weird
Nice.
rock things going on there. So,
Good choice.
and if I
Dude, that's
play
so
my
cool.
cards right, maybe I'll get to go to Scotland. That'd be pretty cool.
I actually
Ah.
took a trip there like a little over a year ago, and it was undoubtedly the coolest trip I have ever been on. Just because the place looks otherworldly, like the rock formations and the mountains up there don't look like they belong on Earth.
And
It's
that's
really
exactly what, day one of research, I'm like, all right, we'll do Scotland. Holy smokes, it's beautiful. And the geology is super complicated. And I'm like, well, it's a rock. I know that. That's a start. And
cool.
after that, I'm a little, okay, we got to figure out what kind of rock it is. Now that's the next step.
Yeah.
No, but it's been a good first 2 days. And tomorrow I'm going to, this is my, every senior has his fun class that, you just do for fun. So my fun class is going to be hip hop dance.
Oh God, I love those stories. Oh, I love this.
And I've never done hip hop dance in my life. No idea how it'll go, but it's tomorrow.
At my bachelor, I did a puppeteer class. Like
No way. That'd be so much fun.
I love those random classes. Like, why do we even? But
yeah, it was between that and a choir class, but the choir class didn't fit my schedule, so I went to dance class. It'll be fun.
And hip hop
dance will be
fits on
more
the social
fun.
media. We'll see you with a coffee.
Hip hop
and
dancing with your coffee.
and your horn
Yeah,
and your hip hop.
Hip hop dancing with your Kwik
coffee,
Trip
have your
coffee.
melatonin.
Yeah, this is built for TikTok, man.
This will be fun. Yeah.
You're playing the game,
You
right?
play your cards right. Is there a Kwik Trip in Scotland? You could do rocks, coffee, and Kwik Trip in Scotland.
Oh, I don't know if there
my
is.
God.
Just like store away Kwik Trip goodies in my luggage and bring them out in Scotland.
There you go.
International brand representative Will
Oh,
Hazeltine.
yes.
Get all the
All right,
Scotland
guys.
Kwik Trip too.
Let's all run over to Kwik Trip real quick and grab some coffee. Everybody get with your section leaders and warm up on your own, and we'll see you on the next break.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
All right, guys, bring it in off the field. No bass drums. You can leave those back there for now. We're coming right back to this set. Guys, we are here with our guest clinician today. Ashlee and I are talking to Heidi. So we have a little tradition. And, I'm going to let Ashlee explain how this works to you.
So what we do when we have a new guest on the show or a new clinician, we give them 32 counts to tell their whole life story within those 32 counts. So we'll give you 8 now off the Met, and then it's all you.
Are you ready?
I will be talking very quickly. Here we go.
All right, here we go. 8 off the Met.
So I was born in North Jersey. I always wanted to be a teacher and eventually figured out that I wanted to be a band director because I thought it would be really cool. So I went to the University of Massachusetts, got my bachelor's degree there and my master's degree there. And I became a high school band director. And after that, I became the assistant band director at Temple University. And after that, I was spending my 29th year at the University of Delaware as professor of music and director of athletic bands.
Oh, you got
You
some
got time left.
Well, I talk really, really fast. I mean, so we ran out of time there. We have more time. Wow, I don't know what 32 counts are really like.
That's great.
But that
I
is
totally
it in a nutshell.
realized I didn't say your last name. This is Heidi Sarver. Am I saying that correctly?
Correct.
And we know you from the University of Delaware.
Yep. So, Heidi, looking back at your time as the band director at Delaware, What do you consider the most significant achievements and milestones that you've accomplished while there?
There are many. Right off the bat, there is no question that when one is hired to create a band that has about 88 people in it, and you are given a timeline of having 200 members in the band by year 5, you have 300 members in the band by year 3. The milestone, benchmark, whatever you want to call it, that was a personal achievement that meant more to me than anything. That the students that came to University of Delaware bought into what I was bringing to the table, and they thrived upon it. As far as accolades go and things like that, sure, we can talk about 2 presidential inaugurations, 3 football championship trips, Grand Nats for Bands of America, regional championships for Bands of America, Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day Parade. I mean, they're all on everybody's band list. Most bands do those things. They're great accomplishments. It's wonderful that we were chosen to do those things. But for me, as I look back over it, I think the greatest achievement will be about 10,000 students that walk through the doors that I hope I had some sort of impact positively on their lives.
That's all we can really ask for.
I went to Delaware with Heidi being my director from 2016 to fall of 2019 going into 2020 right before COVID. And my time at Delaware totally changed me as a person and my work ethic and just my outlook on life. So I know at least I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, band is band. It's what we do. It's what we love. It's a vehicle that we express our creativity through, our love of life through. But at the end of the day, it's very little bit about music and a whole lot about life if you're doing it right.
Right.
Would you say that's more true at the level that you're at, being at a college versus, a lot of our listeners are high school directors?
I think that's a fabulous question, first of all. And I think it's appropriate for both levels because I certainly taught public school before I got into the college world. I think the life skills that you teach in high school or middle school or elementary school, they're still life skills. So how do you approach that age level of student to give them the skill set they need to survive in this world? What I find most interesting now, after this is my 36th year of teaching, seeing what COVID has done to the child, and I will use the word stunted their learning, their emotional growth, their ability to function socially. I find college freshmen are much younger than they used to be. So I think those life skills are more important. But I think it's how you talk to the student. It's how you convey what they need most and help them navigate those waters. So even if I were still teaching high school, I would still be teaching life skills. In fact, I do during the summer through Georgia and Parks Drum Major Academy. Those are life skills. We teach them to conduct. We teach them to lead the band, but 90% of it is how to get through life.
And since you've taught high school and college, do you have a preference? Do you have a favorite? I mean, college for this long, but
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I've always said that I've missed watching the students grow up when you're in high school because they're, what you take a 14-year-old boy and then when they're a freshman and watch them become this 18-year-old almost adult and send them off to college. It's an amazing thing to see a child develop. I miss the aspects of teaching high school where I would have a full big band, where I would have multiple indoor ensembles plus the marching band outside and all of that. They were an enormous amount of fun. I grew as a musician just teaching them. The college thing is different. It's just a whole different animal. They are adults. period, end of discussion. They're 18 and over, and they need to be treated that way, whether they act that way or not. But it's apples and chimpanzees. Teaching is teaching, but you're still dealing with a specific development of the child at a certain age level. So I think there's benefits on both, and there's drawbacks to both. I mean, for all the high school band directors out there, congratulations. You deserve the medal and the honors and the certificates of achievements, God forgive me, for band parents groups. I don't miss band parent groups. And in college, you don't have to do that. And my band parents group at Oceanside High School in Long Island was great. They were wonderful people. Don't misunderstand me. But it's one aspect of the job that I don't have to deal with. The difference is I do have to deal with higher education administration. And that's a whole other animal.
I was going to say, is that more intense than...
It's politically more intense. And it's an interesting line to walk. Plenty of politics when I was teaching high school and balancing parents and administration and superintendents and things like that. But it's got a different vibe to it. I'm not sure I can articulate what it really is.
So Heidi, how would you say that your leadership style has impacted the culture and success at the University of Delaware? And I know that you've also talked about teaching at DMA, so how has that impacted it as well?
So I think what's important to first recognize is that the teacher I am today is not the teacher I was 29 years ago when I got to Delaware, nor the teacher I was when I first became a band director back in, when did I start? 1988. I've grown up, and I think that's the beauty of being a human being. Our leadership styles evolve. I certainly don't teach the way I did in 88. I definitely don't teach the way I did in 95. I think that as I grew more mature, as I grew in understanding how leadership works, how servant leadership works, because that's where I basically pitch from, and recognizing the sacrifice of that, and trying to teach that to the students through the vehicle of marching band or what have you. The impact is much greater than I truly believe people understand. I said it earlier, it's a little bit about music and it's a whole lot about life. If I were just to show up, and I had this experience once, if I were to show up and dial it in, and that the students did it as a job. Their job was to be there from 4 to 6 in the afternoon, and that was it. That was their commitment. We came in, we played, we marched our dot, we left. There was no community, there was no interaction between the directors. We showed up, we did our jobs, and we left. Sadly, unfortunately, one time I was once told by a superior, if you will, that they're here to get this done and that's it, and the rest of it is just nonsense. So don't waste time.
Oh no!
The nonsense is not nonsense. The nonsense is it's the glue. It's what holds it all together. And I think that's the difference in programs. So as I got better at understanding that, I think my students got better in understanding how to interact and understanding what their role was, because of the glue. So when you talk about DMA, Drum Major Academy, you can take all those lessons from the Drum Major Academy and you can give them as notes, and don't tell the stories that glue all of it together. And it's like sitting in the back of a 1,000-member lecture class, and there's no personal interaction. There's no vulnerability. There's no human connection. And when you remove the human connection, I don't think you have a very good band. There are going to be a lot of tears this year. There already are tears this year. And I think over the years there have been tears. And they're good tears, they're happy tears, but it means that there is an emotional connection. And that, to me, when you talk about leadership style, I really do think that people who allow themselves to be vulnerable as a teacher, they open a door that their students can walk through where it's safe, where they can connect to something personal that they've experienced, and suddenly the content of the class becomes more relevant to them. Or we can just teach music and dots and throw things up in the air and call it a day.
I love that you put it that way, because that really is the heart of it all and why we're doing what we're doing. We haven't mentioned this to our audience yet, but you are retiring this year, correct?
This is it. This is the victory lap. It happened fast.
How do you feel about it? Like, what are some of the things going through your mind getting to this point in your career?
Relieved. But there's this strange thing out there that I had this plan that I announced it back in June, that I said it here, I said it there. I made the decision on August 11th. I wasn't even around during the summer. I'd been kicking a couple of different years around. It was first 2026 because my house will be paid off, and for those of you that are a little bit older out there, when your mortgage doesn't exist, you can make all kinds of important life decisions. Or it's like, maybe I'll stay until I'm 65 and then Medicare kicks in and okay, I can get out of the job. But when your financial advisor calls you and says, have you ever thought about going at 60? You're like, what? That's like in a couple of months. And things just fell into place, and it was a very quick decision, but it was the right decision. And all I can say is, to all the people out there, when that day comes, whether it's 40 years from now or 3 years from now, it is critical that you sit with the people who are closest to you in your life, you discuss it, and then you make that decision on your own, and you do it for yourself. And nobody on the outside should have any input to it, because it's, frankly, one of the biggest decisions you are ever going to make, because your identity completely changes. What am I? Who am I? I'm a college band director. And in 350 plus days, what am I? Who am I? I'm retired. What does that even mean? But am I okay with it? I'm okay with it. I'm having the time of my life right now. Every rehearsal, oh my gosh, Mother Nature, please stop with the rain. Please stop with the rain. We need to have a rehearsal. But I go to rehearsal. It's like, okay, let's have fun. And it's like, we need to figure this stuff out, and this needs to be changed for next year. And well, I'll make a note of it for whoever the next year person's going to be. Yeah. It's a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Freeing. It's freeing. I never thought it would be like that. So it will be bittersweet very fast.
Yeah, and you have your last first game coming up this Saturday. How is that making you feel?
Let's see. The scripts haven't been sent into athletics yet. We have new people in marketing who aren't too sure about what they're doing. Nobody seems to know whether or not we're going to have lunch or dinner for the band. Nobody knows if we're going to have post-halftime snacks for the band. I think the bus company is set. I'm not sure about the schedule there for them. And I'm watching a weather for a hurricane. So how do I feel about my first game? Status quo. It's pretty funny. It's no different than the end of band camp this year, which I don't really count that last weekend because we're into Friends and Family Day and, the freshman class welcome. But on Friday night, that hit me when the band left the field, and it's like night lights are on. It's 10 o'clock at night, and there's nobody here, and the field is very empty, and that was hard to swallow. And those moments will come. I have no question about that.
So what, as you prepare to retire, what kind of legacy do you feel that you'll leave behind for the future generations to come through University of Delaware?
Well, I can't control what happens next, and I think that's been a most important acceptance. As band directors, we're control freaks. We have to be. A lot of folks don't understand the responsibility and the liability of 300 students and buses and just walking through a parking lot. But I can't control the future. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. It's no different than when I came in new for the job, and the new person's going to pick up where I left off and go from there. So as far as leaving things behind in a legacy, it's 29 years of a lot. Like I said, I inherited a band program. One roster had 88 kids on it. Another roster had 111. I have no idea which roster was correct. We had to eliminate an enormous amount of, let's just call them challenges. There was a lot of cleaning up to do, and that didn't go over well. That didn't go over well with the membership, so there was turnover. But the interesting thing about that was my first year, we had 147 students in the band. The next year, we broke 200. So whatever we were doing was right. Yeah. And if people didn't like it, they didn't have to like it. It wasn't a place for them, unfortunately. And the band thrived, and it continued to thrive. So I think I leave behind stability. I hope I leave behind stability. I think I'm leaving behind a pretty solid template that whoever comes in next can start from. And I would hope that it's a person that sees what is, doesn't choose to maintain, but chooses to continue evolving what is. So, like, what's next? What hasn't the band done that the new band director wants to do? Go do it. Go create. Go play. It's your turn now. And I hope that as the season progresses, I'm able to have those conversations with the student body of what their role is in what's next. Ashlee, you were there for some of it that one night at band camp when I was talking about it's always been the students' band. I'm just a caretaker. I've been a caretaker for a long time. Now I feel like I'm quoting The Shining. I've always been here. But
Wrong
it is
podcast.
a caretaker role. And it's not my band. The band existed before me. It will exist after me. Mm-hmm. And that's a humbling thing to swallow. But it's what it is. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. I have no intentions of hanging around. I'll wait 3-4 years and then I'll go to a football game. Everybody needs to graduate. It's not fair to the person coming in. It's not for the students who are left behind. Mm-hmm. But, I hope the legacy is I did good.
That's such a respectful way to do it. I know, because I've seen so many programs, high school, college, whatever, they come back to watch, and it's just, it makes such an awkward situation that's just not fair to anybody. And it really is that. Thank you for setting such a good example for those out there who are transitioning. Like, it's just a normal part of life, and we have to accept that.
Well, and it's not because I'm some smart person. It's because my first year of teaching in 1988, the very first football game and every home game thereafter, the previous band director was sitting in the stands with the band. And I was never in a position for it to become my program. I was always, students were always going, Mr. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so. And like, we just scored a touchdown. We need to play. We need to we got ready for halftime. And you're distracting from my program. And so I think, as we cycle back to a couple of things, legacy and leadership style, and a lot of the lessons that I teach are based upon what I've learned from a negative perspective. How I hope how I treat my professional staff is based upon how I was not treated well as a professional staff member. How I treat my students is how I saw other people not treating students properly, not treating students with respect. And that can be a sad thing, but I don't look at it that way. I look at it as from every situation, there is something to learn. And hopefully you're learning something positive from it, even if the situation is negative.
Love that.
So I don't want to be that person, I guess is the simplistic way of saying it.
So what do you think is after, where do you see yourself in retirement? Like, what's the next thing for you?
That is an awesome question. What is Act 3 going to be? I think there'll be a couple of things at first. Acclimation. I gotta acclimate to the situation of not having to go into the office every single day. I will, the website will get up there and I'll hang the shingle. I'd like to pick up a couple of schools and write. I haven't written for anybody other than us for a number of years. I'm writing for one small university right now. I wrote for University of Massachusetts for 27 years, for crying out loud. So it would be nice to try to, pick up a couple of those little gigs on the side, as freelancing is a way to think about it. Guest conducting, doing clinics, but I don't really want to fill the calendar completely. I've not traveled that much in my life, and it's not like I have an enormous amount of excess of funds. Sorry. But I do want to get out, see family, see friends around the country, and finally have some time to do things like that. I think everybody says that when they go into retirement, and then life happens, and we'll figure it out as it comes. But I don't anticipate being a stranger to the industry, at least not for a while.
Heidi, thank you so much. You are such an inspiration to all of us out here who are just still grinding away and working toward that point in our lives. That's excellent.
Well, if I can give you a piece of advice, it goes by fast. I mean, it's like, it wasn't last week that I was teaching high school, but let's say it was a couple of months ago, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It goes by fast. And everybody says it, and then you find yourself there, and you recognize it. So, prepare yourself.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and chat with us. I know.
Thanks for having me.
Your words are definitely going to be on awesome listener ears, because we seriously have the greatest people out here listening. And of course, this lovely band here who needs to go pick up their stuff and get back out on the field, because it is time for another rep. We can't just sit around and have all of our feelings right now. Let's go practice. That was a great rehearsal chunk. I feel like that Kwik Trip coffee just ran all the way through y'all's veins and made some amazing things happen on the field. That was also an awesome interview with Heidi. Ashlee, oh my gosh, how cool was it to get to talk to her?
I love talking to her every time that we're at rehearsal. She's always joking, and she's just so relaxed now that she's announcing her retirement, which is pretty bittersweet, because she was my band director when I was at Delaware. So it's hard to see her go, but she is literally living her best life. When she's on the tower, she's also talking to the town of Newark, and there's like apartment complexes and townhouses, and there's always so many things going on. Like in the middle of rehearsal, the train comes by probably like 5 times during rehearsal. So it's just really awesome watching her live her best life, and she's going to do so many amazing things after she retires. And I'm just really excited for her, and I'm so grateful that we got to have that interview with her.
Well, I was just thinking about this, Ashlee, and not to change the subject on us, but we have this fun thing that we've been doing to get to know all of our hosts a little bit more, and I just realized this is the first time you've been on since we started doing this, so I need to ask you, what part of the marching band show are you?
I feel like I'm probably I feel like it's a close call between the drum break or the closer. Every time I think about a drum break, I just think about like being on weapon and like being aggressive, which I mean, sometimes it's me, but most of the time it's not. It's like my alter ego.
Because you're such an aggressive person, Ashlee.
Right. It's my alter ego. It depends where I have my hand.
You're right.
If I'm like into it, I can be aggressive, but then I also am like, okay, pretty ballad. So I don't know. I think I'm just the whole show. I am the show. How about that? You got that answer before?
I love this.
That sounds like it. Will, what about you? What part of the marching band show are you?
I was giving this some thought. My first time hearing this question too, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go with, I'm the part of the show where all of a sudden the tempo changes and you're marching at like 150, 100 beats per minute, ridiculously fast. And it's like, that's a lot of work. That's pretty tough. But at the same time, that's so exciting. It's so just puts your whole body into motion and you're just going at it and you're so excited and you have all this drive to just keep marching. And that's how I typically am at the practices, even in the games. I'm like just so jazzed to be on the field, and it's very exciting. I don't know. I'm always excited when we march fast too.
Yeah, you seem like the guy that could turn it from like 60 BPM to 150, like boom.
Just like that. And then, you know,
like
in Madison, we have the stop at the top, which that's hard to do. And then it's like you're just going to town like a pure athlete, right? You feel like the Hulk. All of a sudden, you're just playing as high notes as loud as you can, and it's fun.
It's after that Kwik Trip coffee.
Yeah, probably much of the Kwik Trip coffee for sure.
That Kwik Trip and turns into the Hulk.
Yeah, during my water breaks, I'm drinking coffee too, and then people are like, "Is he drinking coffee right now? It's 90 degrees
bad
outside."
for you. Not bad, but it's like you drink more water if you drink coffee.
I mean, maybe if you're going to some subpar coffee place like a Dunkin' Donuts or something. Never a Kwik Trip though.
Steven, what if I have an email from Dunkin' right now asking about sponsorship? You just blew it for us.
Oh, thank goodness the show has an editor. We might be able to deal with that one in post.
All right, you guys, let's get on to the news. Will, let's just throw you in the hot seat. What news story do you have for us today?
I've got a fun news story. It's from the legendary Dolly Parton, country music icon. And I personally love this story because I'm a big older country music fan, right? Dolly Parton fan. Dolly Parton, she congratulated in the news Franklin High School, the Franklin High School marching band specifically, on their 2 upcoming performances. Let's see. The Franklin band performs at the Williamson County Marching Band Exhibition September 9th. So that's in 2 days. And they'll play some of the songs from Dolly Parton's album, The Dolly Parton Story, Rags to Rhinestones. And then she also congratulated the band on their upcoming performance in New York City, which is a massive deal. And they're performing in the St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York City. Nice. So I don't know. I think that's super cool when someone Dolly Parton status, you know, the most famous of famous musicians to ever do it, will, take the time to give kudos to a marching band on their performance. So that's pretty cool. And I know Dolly Parton as a big humanitarian, and she does so much for so many people across the United States and across the world.
She sends my toddler a book every single month.
Her book program is so good. Yeah, I love Dolly Parton. What I always say about Dolly Parton is that she rocks.
Each a rock there. But I'm not. Dolly Parton, my favorite song by her.
Those rocks in there, huh?
That one worked. That one worked well enough. I had to see. I didn't know if you guys were gonna laugh or groan at me for it, but
kind of both.
Ashlee, what do you got for us today? Let's do your news story.
My news story is from Flow Marching. It's about college scholarships. It's can I get a college scholarship doing marching band and what you need to know. So obviously college is really expensive, but like if you're in band, there are some ways to get some scholarships. It may not be like a full ride, but any little bit helps. I know at least for the Twirlers, there are some schools that give the feature twirler a full ride for all 4 years if they have that position. I think Penn State does. I think Iowa, University of Iowa. I can't remember off the top of my head which ones they all are, but there are so many opportunities for twirlers and really for everyone. If you do marching band in college, you could get either a couple $100 or maybe a couple thousand to go towards whatever. I mean, like when I was in college band, my scholarship funds went towards my textbook, so it was kind of like evened out by that. But if students can search for the scholarships on websites like Niche, College Board, and Scholarships 360 to try to research if they want to go to college and want to do band, they can see what their options are.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Won't you guys be talking to some college twirlers pretty soon, actually?
I think so. I think we have some of that going on in the works for On a Water Break in Rhinestones.
Nice.
Yeah. It's coming out.
It reminds me a lot of Will's deal, actually. It seems like there's lots of different avenues coming up for college students involved in the arts to either find scholarships or find some more just cool, interesting stuff they can get into with outside companies outside of their schools.
Yeah, I actually know there's like quite a few twirlers that are like brand ambassadors for Celsius, like the energy drink, and Alani. They always are posting with their energy drinks and they're like #ambassador. I'm like, how do you even do that? It's like literally all over my Instagram page.
I think I know someone you could talk to. Will, how do you get a caffeine sponsorship?
Not sure about Celsius, but I mean, it's just having that drive. You go out and email someone, and hopefully they email you back. And it's a different avenue than the scholarship route, but it's at the end of the day pretty similar. You gotta, write to somebody and say, "Here's why I should be the guy, be the person."
Right.
But it's a more fun avenue, I almost think, because now I make the content too, and that's a unique avenue to take.
Yeah, you're a trailblazer on it. Hopefully, there's lots of people to follow the way after you.
Well, it's definitely a lot more fun than just like having to write essays, which is what a lot of the scholarships when I was in college were about. Like, oh, write this essay. I'm like, I would rather make a music video for you, thank you.
Yeah, making TikTok videos are way more fun than writing essays. And I'm bad at writing essays. So I remember like 2 or 3 years back going into college, I'd have to write them for scholarships. And I'm like, there's no way I'm getting this. Probably didn't get it. I don't know. But then this opportunity, it's something that, I'm 21. I can make a TikTok video. I know how to do that. I can post online.
Nice.
Cynthia, what do you got? Speaking of posting online.
So on the channel Fox 43, there was a segment called Tyler Tries. And guess what Tyler tried? He went to the York Suburban High School and tried marching band. And as marching band and marching art people, I can tell you it's kind of a fun segment altogether just to see someone try something that no one knows about, but we know. So it's kind of fun segment because it's funny with him, but then some of us are taking our art seriously. So you see the seriousness of it, but then the kind of quirky side of it. So it's cool. And for me, it's kind of, although I really know marching band and not marching band, but drum corps and color guard marching band is kind of a different thing. Like you put on a show so quickly, it seems. Like, is it the shortest season it can be out of the drum corps, color guard, and marching band? Do you think, guys?
Pretty much. Realistically, it is. In some senses, you can start the marching band season early in the summer or even sometimes in the springtime.
I was gonna say we do
Wow.
auditions as early as like April for fall marching band.
Yeah.
But is there kids doing drum corps at the same time?
If a kid is
Sometimes.
doing drum corps, that's like your superstar, and you don't even care that they're not about to be there. When they get back from drum corps, you welcome their presence.
Exactly what it was. Because coming back this August, there's like 4 or 5 people at Madison who did drum corps, and it's like, oh my gosh, the superstar's back. One of them's a mellophone player with me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm bowing down to him. He's amazing at playing. He knows everything he's doing. It's awesome to see.
Yeah. No, so if a kid goes away and does drum corps, that's actually awesome. We get pretty excited about that. But it's not too uncommon for a school to start with like a bi-weekly rehearsal, or at least they're like back to band night back in like May, April of the season prior. So in that sense, it can stretch for 7 months almost.
Oh, wow.
But usually rehearsals don't pick back up on a real regular basis until like the end of August. So it's kind of that short season you're thinking of once they're back in school.
Right.
Yeah,
and is
like
it just at night
thinking
rehearsals mostly? Oh, sorry.
Thinking about the end, like the intensity of band camp, like you have like maybe you don't have any rehearsal through all of June, and then all of a sudden you have like a week-long band camp in July or in August or something, or 2 weeks. I know some schools go to like 3 or 4 weeks of band camp. Like it's so much. It's really intense all at once. So that's, I think, part of it too.
Yeah,
This summer we spent 3 weeks during a band camp, and we had 3 days for 3 weeks. And I thought it was awesome. I loved being out there. Other people, you could tell, wow, another week. All right, when's the show? When's the first show? And then immediately after, you're back learning a whole new show, which is something different than the drum corps world as I know it.
3 days for 3 weeks sounds kind of fun, though. Is that like, are you on campus for that whole time?
Yeah, so they'll let the first year members move into the dorms, or they'll move in early, and then returners are hopefully back on campus. No, but it's 3 times a day for 3 weeks for 6 days of the week.
Oh, okay, I see. All right.
Yeah, so that's 18 practices.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, still fun. Still fun.
Yeah, still fun because you're out there with all the people you know, and then as you said, it's like 2 days into it, the people come back from Indianapolis from drum corps, and then it's like, oh wow, now they're back, and now we're really getting going.
And how long is the competition? Oh my God, so many pieces. Competition season is for how long? Or
the season, it goes as long as typically the football season does, because that's a big reason why the marching band will be it for college football. So I'm thinking for the Wisconsin Badgers, the season goes until late November, and then depending on how the football team does, if there's playoff possibilities or like the bowl games, that's one bonus performance in late December or early January.
Yeah, and your college football bowl game trips are nice because
they're generally nice. Exactly. You get to go to somewhere warm, hopefully.
The locations are usually good because they put them in like nice places. But also in my experience, I got to go to the Cotton Bowl with Penn State in 2019. Like they take care of you because the bowl committee is the one that's paying for everything typically, which is like a well-funded, either charitable or just you name it, like a commercial organization. They actually rented an entire plane for the Blue Band to fly us down to Dallas.
Wow.
And then we had like pretty nice accommodations in Dallas too. But Yeah, college football in the States is a very, very big money thing.
Yeah. It
Steven,
seems just
what's
so
your
intense at the beginning of a school year for me because it's like I said, so foreign. I think I would be the mom bringing the lunch and the coffee to the Ashleys that just go to billion different places and tap on everyone's back and be like, "Woo woo, see you in November." With the hot pot, how do you call it? The hot pads, the hand hot pads.
The little oh
the
man,
hot hands? Yeah.
I should know.
It's like I go into hibernation, but instead of being away, I'm just at band for like.
Steven, what's your news story this week?
Yeah, so just in case you have not had enough drum corps yet, Drum Corps Europe is having their championships on Saturday, September 30th, 2023. This is being held in.
You go,
hold up,
you got
while
it. You
I
got
completely butcher this. FC Dordrecht Stadion Kromesdijk Riwal Hoogwerkers Stadion. This is in the Netherlands.
Netherlands. There we go. We know how to say that word at least.
I got that one right. The Netherlands. So this will feature a number of ensembles in the premier class, which is their equivalent of like our world class. We have groups like Beatrix, Beaches, Jubal, Spirit of 52. I actually got to march with a snare drummer from Jubal, as well as a bass drummer that taught at Spirit of 52. I thought it was always cool when folks got to come over from Europe and really like make the trek out to do American band, but it's pretty cool. It's actually in some ways like a more broad competition in scope than what we do here in the United States, because they have their premier class, junior class, which is kind of like a world class and open, but they also have a concert class, a marching percussion class, exhibition class, and my personal favorite, drumline battle. So they have a lot of different things going on. It's cool to see that they cross borders in order to do their drum corps competitions in Europe. And just neat to know that this is an activity of international scope. It's not just something we get down to over here in the Americas.
No, but I remember because I'm trying to remember the name. Jackie, who is the guy that you interviewed that talked about this, right? The Drum Corps Europe, or am I mixing circuit?
I don't know. I don't know that. Did we talk to somebody about Drum Corps Europe recently?
Or
I know we talked to the show bands.
We did. Oh, yes. Yes. We talked to
Ah.
Larry about the show bands. That's probably what it was.
Actually, there is a show band competing in their own division. Just one of them, a show band, at the Drum Corps Europe Championship. So, once again, that proves to be a very international activity.
And then in the Europe, crossing borders is so much easier than even here, even between Canada and the US. It's not hard to cross unless you're by foot or I don't know. But in Europe it's quite easy, and that's why I looked at the group names, and it seemed to be like it's still, some of them come from pretty far, but I guess does it move? Do you know? Like, does the championship move, or is it like in Indianapolis like us?
It's tough to tell from this page. Do you know, Jackie?
I don't know about the Europe Championship. I do know about the championship that we talked about a couple weeks ago, the WAMSB Championship. That does move. It's in a different country every year. So I don't know if Drum Corps Europe is the same.
I think I have a not very thorough answer for you, but an answer nonetheless. Last year, it was in the same spot.
Oh.
So I don't know if it always is, but they've at least done it 2 years in a row now.
Okay.
There is a convenience that comes with having the same event in the same place every year.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you so much to our hosts, Cynthia, Steven, and Ashlee. Thank you, Will, for joining us. Can you give us your Kwik Trip wrap-up?
Well, yeah, it's a little late now, so I'd probably still be going to Kwik Trip to get a late night snack.
Oh,
but
yeah.
no matter where you are, in between band practices, needing gas for the car, it's always a great place to stop and grab something that you'll need. Yeah, and I was super excited to join the podcast tonight. This was awesome. It's great to meet you all, chat with y'all.
What are your
Definitely. Thank you
socials?
for
Where
coming on the
can
show.
we find you whenever our followers
sure.
want to come and follow you?
It should be my Instagram and TikTok, and they're the same handle. It's just first name, last name, William Hazeltine. Type that in the chat here too, if you'd like to share that out.
We'll get it in our show notes. I have 2 reviews to read.
Wait,
for
really?
our podcast.
Oh, that's
Oh
exciting.
my God. Wait,
I know.
Will, I want to fill you in. We've been asking for months
For
at the end of
months?
the
Oh my
episode.
Yes.
I
This
can't
should
believe we
be-
have 2 at once.
So
They're
they're
gonna
2
become
reviews,
t-shirts.
but are they good reviews or bad reviews? Because if
Okay,
they're
fine.
bad, you
Well-
might be like, well, maybe we don't want to read those out loud. You're only
Hey,
gonna get.
even if they're bad
I'm gonna
reviews,
leave a good
I'll
review
just
though.
read
If I
them
leave a
and
good
we'll make
review,
fun of the person who reviewed them. No, I won't do that.
No. We don't do that. That's called bullying, Jackie. We don't do that. But we can make merch and have a shirt with all the hate comments on it, and I will wear it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. A shirt of all of our
Well,
haters. I
Our,
like
our
that.
first 2 reviews are good reviews. We have a
Cool.
review from Ben, says he loves our podcast. So thank you, Ben. He said,
Hi,
I love that
Ben.
Thank
show.
you, Ben.
And then we have one from Marching Coffee. He says, I just listened to my first episode from Labor Day. It's super fun. So thank you guys so much for sending us some reviews. Give us some
Yes.
reviews. 5 stars, please. 5 stars, always. And yeah, bring them on. And I'll read them at the end of our episode. So check us out next week. We will do a deeper dive into DCA with some very special guests. Go subscribe. Again, write us a review, share this episode with a friend, and follow us on our social media at On a Water Break. We will see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
Go practice.